Waking up, waking down. I remember years ago reading one of Adyashanti's books. I think it was called The End of Your World. And The End of Your World is very much a book about post-awakening, about what happens after having had a shift in consciousness, after realizing your true nature. And basically it's a whole load of integration work, a whole load of coming down the mountain. One of the biggest things that he said, which at the time I didn't realize was such a big thing, but he said something about telling the truth, like that a really big part of waking down is telling the truth. Now that can be heard in a lot of different ways. You know, some people will just hear that very superficially, like, oh, you mean telling the truth if, you know, about if I bought a drink, or I don't know. Just very superficial truths. But actually, that invitation to tell the truth is actually a really, really deep and profound thing, because most of us are brought up in a culture where telling the truth is uncommon. It's uncommon. Telling the truth means being honest about our needs, being honest about how we really feel, being honest about when people ask us to do things we don't want to do, be honest about our boundaries, be honest about all the ways where we can people please, we can go into fawning, we can go into codependency. All the ways that actually most of us survived. We survived by doing that. So that is already like so hardwired in us that to start telling the truth is actually a really radical act. It's something very deep and very profound. And actually it's very, very rare. Now you might be listening to this thinking, no, I tell the truth. And you might tell the truth. You might do. But the truth I'm speaking about is radical. Very, very radical. And in the book, The End of Your World, Adyashanti says, you know, telling the truth is not about going around telling everybody what you think of them. That's not telling the truth. That's like dumping, you know, dump my shit on you, I dump my shit on you. That's not telling the truth. Telling the truth is really owning how we feel in any given situation, and not second guessing how that is going to be interpreted by other people. And in some ways, by doing that, actually, communication becomes much simpler. You know, I had a situation recently where I was really torn around something. And then someone just asked me a really simple question like, well, what do you want to say? I said, oh, I want to say this. He said, okay, just say that then. I was like, yeah, but that is going to trigger them, or that is going to... You know, that feels naked. That feels naked. That feels raw. That feels vulnerable. That feels scary. And yet, it was the truth. And so I did say that. And it was fine. It was fine. It was absolutely fine. Why wouldn't it have been? Because I think also when we start to tell the truth, it's like there's an energy in that. And I think what we're communicating is like 90% energy, right? 10% verbal, 90% non-verbal. So most of the time when we are connecting with people, speaking to people, telling people things, then what people are listening to, even if they're unaware of it, is where is this energy coming from? Is this a truthful space or an untruthful space? Is it congruent or incongruent? Real or unreal? So yeah, I've had a few situations recently where I've stepped into that and I've been really pleasantly surprised. It's like the universe has rewarded me somehow and said, yeah, there you go. It's okay to do that. Yeah, telling the truth. Adyashanti book, The End of Your World. Very good book actually, especially for hardcore non-dualists.